I'm Jan Kunka, Lion Jan, and I've been a zone chair many times. And when my husband was district governor during the pandemic, we had to do Zoom training for our zone chairs. And that is the source of the PowerPoints that were developed and that I'm going to use today to give you an overview of what your responsibilities are as a zone chair. First, big picture, zone chair responsibilities. Well, you have to promote the club quality initiative. That means things that help make your clubs in your zone better. You're going to promote the global services initiatives. For example, your big five: diabetes, environment, hunger, childhood cancer, and of course, vision. But I'm not going to focus on that aspect. I'm going to focus on more of your day-to-day responsibilities. But your zone chair responsibilities also include representing a club in your zone with any problem with the district chair, multiple district council chair, or LCI. That means you have to be able to communicate the needs of the clubs in your zones upward and the needs of your district governor team to the zones. So that means you need to supervise the progress of district, multiple district, and LCI projects in your zone. You need to promote your club representation at district, MD, international conventions by at least a full quota of delegates. So if each of your clubs have a range of delegates from 2 to say 5, depending on their membership, encourage them to send their delegates and do the paperwork needed so that they can fully participate in your district and multiple district conferences. Now, here comes the important part, at least in my opinion. You need to visit your clubs that are in your zone. Ideally, you would visit at least one regular meeting of each club, and you would report the findings, both plus and deltas, to your region chair and district governor and anyone else on your district governor team that your district governor requests. The second thing, need to hold at least 3 zone meetings, and it'd be nice if you held a 4th one. And you're going to file a report again to your district governor and his team or her team. There are a couple of other things. The catch-all, any other functions as directed by your international board of directors. That may change from year to year depending on what type of special program they're developing and want to communicate to the clubs in your zone. Unique to District 35I, you are also a member of the Hearing Foundation. But that's not the big part of this program. You would be contacted by the foundation chairperson as to what you would need to do as part of that committee. Well, now we're going to switch over to some PowerPoints that will help illuminate how to develop a procedure for your club visitations. Okay, switching to share there. Okay, starting off, club visitations are how you get to know your clubs. This is not where you present to them, but it's where you're observing what they're going to be doing. First, before you begin any of your visitations, contact the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer by email or telephone, and introduce yourself as the zone chair for the upcoming Lion year. Sometimes you can reach one and not the other. That's why I suggest attempting to call as many as you can so that the word gets out that you are zone chair and that you are interested in helping them. Second, verify for each club that the following information provided to Lions International is correct. This is another reason for the preliminary phone call. or email. Name, address, telephone, and email address for each officer of the clubs in your zone. It's amazing how much is listed in LCI that has not been updated. And it's very hard for LCI to communicate to your club officers if they don't have the following information. Meeting locations, dates, and times. Your district governor tries to coordinate his or her visits using this information posted in LCI, but sometimes it's not correct. If there is a discrepancy between the LCI records and the information that you provide, your job is to assist the club in making the correction. The third thing that you would need to do before you visit the club is plan your observation visit schedule so you can visit the clubs during the first quarter of the Lion year. Ideally, it would be after the initial district meeting because you'll have a lot to communicate, and before a zone meeting. But this may be a challenge because some of you have zones with large numbers of clubs and they're spread far apart and they all meet at the same night. Well, use common sense. Prioritize those clubs you think that you might need to visit first, and those clubs with a history of being fairly self-sufficient, having very few problems, you may want to postpone. Now, if you are a new chair for your zone, how do you find out that information? Which club should be seen and observed first? Well, simply contact the previous zone chair. That person may be able to provide insights into your club's possible strengths and concerns, and this may help you prioritize your visits to your clubs. Let your clubs know when you plan to visit. They may have changed their location and date and meeting time. So check on the policy that they have for meals, whether it's a brown bag or you're ordering from a restaurant, and whether you need reservations so that a meal may be prepared. Emphasize you will need minimal time on their agenda to provide information updates from your DG team. Try not to schedule observation visits during a DG visit. Of course, you can visit the clubs anytime as a welcome guest, but you're not going to get a perspective of the daily operations of the club during the district governor visit. If a club agenda is usually emailed to the members, be sure to request the one for your visit to be sent to you as well. Well, 2 days, you're going to go visit a club, confirm your visitation date. It's amazing how much changes from your first plan to the one when you finally get ready to go. Say, hi, club meeting locations or schedules may change at the last minute. Now, before your visit, get to know your clubs. Wait a minute, how can you do that if you haven't seen them yet? There are so many resources for you to look at that help give you an insight as to the style, nature, character, energy of your clubs in your zone. First, at a district meeting, locate members of the club that are in your zone and introduce yourself. They will be pleased to find somebody that is interested in them and encourage them to mingle with the district meeting so that they can also share their activities with other clubs. Review the club's LCI and MyLion reports. Wait a minute, where do those come from? Well, if you don't have access to MyLion, that's going to be a priority. And the MyLion, when you are a zone chair, you will be given access to both MyLion reports for your individual clubs, and you'll be able to access their LCI information. So look forward to that because you'll be given when you sign in, it will automatically show up. Request to be on the club's newsletter mailing list or visit the club's webpage. Check out the club's Facebook page. Now, you're coming to the visitation, kind of excited. Introduce yourself to officers and emphasize that you don't want special seating. You are not supposed to be at the head table. You need to mingle with the club members if time allows. Try to sit where you can easily observe and hear, and pick up any agenda or handouts that may be available. During a meeting, have a blank copy of the club visitation report form to fill in as needed. Where are you going to get that? I will be providing those via email as an attachment to this PowerPoint. Feel free to participate if asked a question, but remember, you are not the star of the show. You are a resource to be called upon, but you are there to observe. Now, club visitation report. This is the template that we're using in District 35I, chair visitation report. Very simple. You have the club, the date visited, some little checklists. Like, did they start on time? Was the meeting well attended? Was there an agenda? Are there committee reports? Have there been discussions of fundraising projects? And then how you rate the club. My favorite part of this is the other comments. I jot down all kinds of things like, wow, cool project, they're doing this. Oh, amazing what service things, fundraisers. And also, if there are any concerns. Now, this is my rough draft. I go home and I fill it out and I send it in. At the end of the meeting, thank the club for their gracious welcome and complete your club visitation report and send it in to your district governor and those members of his or her team that your district governor requests you to send it to. In District 35I, District Governor Jimmy Gregory, the region chair, which would either be Steve Schultz or Ken Murphy, the cabinet secretary, which is Bob Jenkins, and you would carbon copy CC Vice District Governor Gary Laspina and Second Vice District Governor Patty Jean Strong. And remember to have fun on your visits. You're asking as the district governor's fly on the wall, providing information about club concerns, but share club successes and emphasize all that is great about being a Lion. Reports prior to district meetings. This is a separate report. Traditionally, zone chairs in our district request information from their clubs to present at zone meetings. And it's usually a list of the club's accomplishments to celebrate, a brag list. But you need to send a written report to your district governor and his or her team, and that needs to be a realistic assessment of your club's strengths, concerns, and the actions taken. Now, where do you get the information? Club visits? Yes. Zone meetings? Yes. And very, very important, the club health assessments. You will be receiving this via email, and the club health assessment from LCI gives some very specific information, such as membership change, gain or loss, such as continuity of officers, which is not always a positive thing. For example, if the president has been president for 10 years, there's a problem. And whether each club is filing their MyLCI reports and whether they're sending in their service metrics. The other thing that you can use is your MyLion metrics, and you can take a look at the type of service projects the clubs are doing and the number of hours. And with this information, you can summarize it for your district governor team. Remember, no action can be taken if your district governor team is not aware of your concerns about a club in your zone. And no celebration can be made if the team is not aware of the strengths of a club in your zone. Now we're going to shift over to the zone chair visits. So doing a quick change over on my slides. Right over here, we've got the zone meetings. All right. Zone meetings, that seems to be what is prevalent in a zone chair's mind. What do I do at a zone meeting? Well, first, realize that it's also known as the District Governor's Advisory Committee meeting. It's a zone meeting for most of us. The District Governor Advisory Committee, or zone, includes all the club presidents, club first vice presidents, and club secretaries within the zone. But your district governor or district governor-elect would like you to encourage any interested Lion to attend. And I would like to add to that, be sure to invite your Leo's sponsors that are within the zone. And if any Leos can act as representatives to the meeting, that's great. That would be absolutely fantastic. There is a Model District Governors Advisory Committee meetings reference guide available online through my LCI or my, so don't hesitate to download some of these ebooks because they will go into closer detail. 3 zone meetings should be held and a 4th meeting is optional. Lions International recommends the following topics be addressed at each meeting. The first meeting, service. The second meeting, membership. And the third meeting, leadership. This is not engraved in granite. If your district governor wants you to emphasize membership first, do so. The first zone meeting should occur within 90 days of the International Convention or as noted in the district constitution and bylaws. Well, in Florida, many of our clubs don't meet during the summertime. And if the International Convention is the 1st of July, that means 1st of August, 1st of September, 1st in October, and sometimes it is not possible to have visited your clubs prior to a scheduled zone meeting. So please, excuse me, use common sense. You may want to delay your zone meeting for a couple of weeks and so that you had a chance to visit with your clubs. If you choose to focus on service for your first meeting, be sure to prepare ahead of time by reviewing a community needs assessment and making it happen. Other electronic resources include your service journey, a service model for the 21st century, providing community service, which is a Lions Learning Center online course. District resources include members of the global service team. That our global service team chairperson or coordinator is Tom Maver. Community resources that may provide a guest speaker. Now, when you're at the second meeting and your goal is to focus on membership, there are resources for that as well. You can prepare ahead of time by reviewing Just Ask, Membership Satisfaction Guide, New Member Orientation, and New Member Responsibilities. Remember, you have a real person resource on your global membership team. For this year, District 35I, the global membership team leader is, well, I'll come back to that. Third, focus on leadership development. Prepare ahead of time by reviewing resources of the Lions Learning Center, LLC, and the club officer webpage. Identify times and dates of Lions Leadership Institutes that may be available to your zone members. And of course, don't forget the members of the global leadership team. Now, you ready? You've got a theme, membership, leadership, service. You're ready to make your presentation. Please make your presentation useful, interesting, varied in format, and tailored to the needs of the clubs attending. At each zone meeting, you need to promote your district governor's goals. You need to provide updates on essential district information. You need to encourage clubs to participate in district, multiple district, and international opportunities. And you need to promote inter-club visitations and project assistance. And be sure to allow clubs to share their successes, and very important, allow them to share their concerns. Now, how do you organize a successful zone meeting? Know your clubs. Initial club visitations should be done as soon as possible, especially if your club is new or unfamiliar to you. You need to make sure you locate the members of the clubs in your zone at district meetings and introduce yourself. Review the club's LCI and MyLion reports and request to be on the club's newsletter. Hey, you need to know your club, and these are the ways that you can find out and get a little bit of information about their style, their club talents, their service projects, and fundraising activities. So don't forget the web page and the Facebook page. Now, if you are scheduling zone meeting during a club's regular meeting, you should be familiar with the club's physical, social, and meeting traditions. Send out invitations to those that you would like to attend. Include date, time, location, meal menu, cost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a sample invitation that I sent out a couple of years ago for a zone meeting. The host club will open the meeting with their traditions and then turn the meeting over to you. Have an agenda. That is incredibly important because your time is valuable, the club that is hosting the zone's time is valuable, and the members attending, their time is valuable. So have an agenda and follow it. Now, that was an example of a traditional zone meeting. Does your zone meeting have to be hosted by a club? No. Non-traditional zone meetings often focus on the theme, and I have known of zone meetings held at the Lions Institute for Transplant and Research, and after the meeting, they had a chance for a tour. You can imagine how well attended that one was. Another opportunity for a zone meeting was a past international president as a guest speaker. Well, that was too great an opportunity to not take advantage of. So that particular zone meeting was not one zone, but two zones merged together and held the meeting on a Sunday afternoon so that more people could attend. Another zone meeting was held at a fire station because they had a meeting room, but they also found out a little bit about their community's resources for emergency service. So you are not limited in how you can meet the zone meeting needs. Take the challenge and be useful, interesting, and follow what is needed to reflect your district governor's request. All right, zone meeting reports. Clubs and officers attending. Number of Lions attending. Your agenda. your zone's successes, and your zone's challenges, and your zone's ideas to meet these challenges. So there's an example, one that is provided by Lions International, but it's easy. The first part, the meeting summary, is basically a summary of your agenda. The second part, District Governor's Advisory Committee meeting report, is the who was there, when was it held, and what was accomplished. Now notice, item number 4 says see attached. Feel free, if you had a very unique program, to delineate that program for your district governor and the team. Okay, in District 35I, your report should be emailed to District Governor Jimmy Gregory, your region chair, Steve Schultz, and Lion Ken Murphy, Cabinet Secretary Bob Jenkins, and you should carbon copy CC First Vice District Governor Gary Laspina and Second Vice District Governor Patty Jean Strong. The key to success as a zone chair is to communicate. A zone meeting is one of several formats for your district governor to communicate with you. And more important, a zone meeting is a way for the clubs to communicate to their district governor. I've always enjoyed my opportunities to serve as a zone chair. I have learned so many ways to share how it's great to be a lion. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate your participation and listening in on this. For those that missed the live interaction, we had some opportunities to answer questions, but hopefully this gives you an overview of your duties as a zone chair. I'm going to email those of you who could not make the original presentations of the forms and a copy of the scripts that was used for the PowerPoint. So thank you and have a wonderful Lion year.